So here's the Wolfbox G900 Pro, and the most special thing about this camera is that this is probably the world's only mirror dash camera which offers you a 4K resolution from the front backed with a Starvis-2 sensor. And not just that, it also gives you a quad HD resolution from the rear camera as well. Let's quickly open up the box and see what you find inside. And here is a supremely big dash camera. This is probably a 12-inch mirror dash cam right here. Very large display. And at the back, as you can see, here is the main lens module. You've got these hooks for the attachment to the internal rear view mirror. Let's keep this aside for a while now. Let's check out what you get. So you've got the standard wiring installation tool. You've got the main power cable with a pre-attached 12-volt socket, which gets a single USB port as well. You get these rubber straps for attaching to the internal rear view mirror. You get a cleaning cloth. Along with it, here is the rear camera, a quad HD rear camera, 5 megapixel, along with the backup signal cable wire and a 3.5mm port. You also get a 3M sticker if you plan on sticking this rear camera. Then you also get a separate GPS module. So it's interesting to see that the GPS module is not like inbuilt within the dashcam. You get an external GPS module. You'll have to attach this separately to the windshield and connect it with the main camera. Here's another extra spare 3M sticker along with the reverse camera mount. You also get some wiring clips. Following that, you also get a user manual and a quick start guide for the Wolfbox G900, and you get some stickers at the bottom. It says roof overhead, road ahead, kind of standard stickers which you get from Wolfbox. So this is the most premium mirror dash camera available in the world, giving you the power of 4K Starvis-2 sensor from the front camera. Here are the hooks right here. You've got this lens module, which I think the lens is movable up and down, left and right, so you can adjust the angle accordingly. It doesn't have an extendable arm because it's already so long it will probably cover the entire rear view mirror of your car. On top of the camera, you've got a port for the GPS module, you've got the Type-C power port, you've got the AV port for the rear camera, and you also get a free memory card inside the dash camera, which is of 128 GB size. That's cool. No need to buy a separate memory card. At the bottom, you get dual mics for a stereo sound recording, and you get a distinctive orange power button, easy accessible to turn on or turn off the display. That's super nice, and I'm really starting to like this dashcam already even before I've installed it. So it's going to be very exciting to take a deep look at this camera and show you why this Wolfbox G900 Pro should be your next mirror dashcam. So to start off the installation, place the mirror dashcam right on top of your internal rear view mirror. Take the rubber straps and align them along the hooks given at the back of the mirror camera. So tighten both the rubber straps properly so that it adheres very well onto the front camera. Then you can adjust the angle of the camera required by just moving around the entire assembly. Take the external GPS logger that has been provided in the box and plug in the 3.5mm port of the external logger. Then choose a proper area right at the top of the windshield and stick the GPS logger wherever you find it convenient. Then take the main power cable, which comes with a pre-attached 12-volt socket. Insert the Type-C port into the camera and plug in the power adapter into the 12-volt socket of your car. Now let's start off with the installation of the rear camera. So to install the rear camera, you have to connect the backup signal wire to the reverse light of your car. So in order to complete this process, you need to take out the car's rear tail light. Once it's unplugged, you need to take out the reverse signal cable or the backup signal cable, which is usually in red color. Remove the insulation around the backup signal cable wire and then identify the car's reverse tail light adapter. So once it's identified, you need to insert the backup signal cable wire into that particular adapter and just plug back the adapter to its original place. So this implies you don't have to do any wire cutting, and this is a straight up pretty much plug and play process. Once that's done, you need to pass the rest of the wire behind the cladding of the rear tailgate. So you need to take out the plastic cladding that's given on the interior portion of the rear tailgate, pass the wire that can further connect to the rear camera. Now take the rear camera from the outside and pass the wire from the outside portion of the car towards the inside, which can pass through the interior of the rear tailgate. So this is a meticulous process, this is a sensitive process, so take your own time, do it slowly, and you might just be able to do it properly.
So once the wire is passed inside, you're pretty much done all of the hard work. All you need to do is just connect the plugs, that is the type A connector and the type B connector. Once that is connected, most of the work is now done. All you need to do is just now plug back the car's tail light which you had unplugged previously in order to connect to the backup signal wire. So once the connection is complete and you have tightened the screws for the rear tail light, just take the plastic cladding and just put it back on the rear tailgate to give you that original OEM finished look. Then you need to take a 3M sticker and attach to the rear camera mount which has been provided within the box. Make sure you adapt it firmly well. Once the sticker is pressed well onto the mount, just peel off the other end of the sticker. Just stick the camera at a convenient location or any particular location from where you want to have a view of the rear. Generally, it is the proper idea to place the camera at the center of the rear tailgate just above the number plate so that you get a proper rear view, including a good view for taking reverse and of all the vehicles that are behind the car. So this is pretty much the entire process of installing the rear camera. It's not very difficult, but it's going to take some time. So do it calmly, do it casually, and you'll be able to do it well. Plug in the other end of the rear camera cable into the main front camera. Then turn on the camera, after which you will be greeted with the Wolfbox logo and the camera will start streaming right up on the screen. So once the screen has turned on, engage the reverse gear of your car. That should automatically switch the view to the rear camera along with giving you guidelines. So you can even adjust the level of the guidelines, high, medium or low, and you can even change the view of the rear camera either to a zoomed in view or a zoomed out view according to your convenience.
Alright guys, so as you just saw, this was the first startup of the Wolfbox G900 Pro, and straight up on the screen you can see that this is the front camera view and the rear camera view. Now you can see them side by side, and in case if you want to just switch between the views, you can just slide on the screen, it shifts to the rear view. You can slide back again, shift to the only front camera view, and if you slide back, it goes into a split screen mode. On top of it, you can also notice that they have provided a recording indicator. This shows the resolution, that's the 4K front and 2.5K rear. Gets the date and time display, and of course shows you the Wi-Fi status, the speaker status, voice control, and even the GPS coordinates along with the direction the car is moving in. So you can swipe both right and left directions, it doesn't matter. The camera can switch between the various different views. Now in case if you need to head into the settings, you can just click on the center at the screen and it opens up a panel at the bottom of the screen. So you can head into this panel and access the settings of this dash camera, along with the fact that you can easily adjust the camera angle just by moving the internal rear view mirror as you're seeing on the screen right now. Of course, the rear view will not be disturbed by this, only the front camera view can be adjusted by moving on the internal rear view mirror. That being said, let's head into the rear view camera right now. So I just swipe the screen and now the camera is showing the rear camera display. Now once within a display, you can swipe up and down to adjust the particular angle of the display. So as you're seeing right now, I can adjust if I want to focus more on the top portion of the display or the bottom portion of the video being recorded. So especially in reverse view cameras, you need to see downwards more because you need to know where the car is moving. So at the rear camera, I have focused it more towards the downward side. So in the rear camera, I focus it more towards the ground part. Moving on to the front camera, you can even adjust the view of the front camera on the display. You can slide up and down and adjust the camera angle based on your requirement. That being said, let's just click on this voice control button right here. So this is an important option. So as you're seeing on the screen right now, it is showing up all the various different voice control options which you can use in order to control this camera. So pretty lot of options. So this is a very convenient and a very practical feature. That being said, let's head into the settings now. Alright, so here is the settings menu, a very simple, straightforward and a good looking user interface for the settings. Pretty much easy and pretty much easy for everybody to understand and even implement in their cars. So first of all, you have the resolution option right here. If I do click on that, it gives you various different resolution. It gives you various different resolution options, starting off with 4K 30 FPS for the front and 2.5K for the rear with a 30 FPS. Along with that, you get 4K 1080p, 2.5K plus 2.5K, then 2.5K and 1080p, and lastly you also get
Full HD for both the cameras. So this is going to save you a lot of space. So lot of options. So let's just select the 4K 30 fps and 2.5K 30 fps. That being said, moving on to the next option, this is the display mode. So you can have only the front camera being shown on the display or the rear camera, or you can have the split screen mode. Following that, you have the mic button. Basically, you can turn it off or turn it on in order to enable sound recording. Then you have the loop recording option. So you can record a minimum of 1 minute and a maximum of 3-minute video files for loop recording. Then you have the G sensor sensitivity. You can turn it off completely or set it at low, medium or high. Then you have the fatigue reminder. You can set it off or set it to every 1 hour or every 2 hours or every 3 hours. That being said, next option is the Wi-Fi option, wherein you can completely turn off the Wi-Fi or set it at the previous gen 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi or set it at 5.8 GHz Wi-Fi for the fastest transmission. Now do note that you will need to have a compatible smartphone which supports 5.8 GHz Wi-Fi network. Then you have the volume setting. Of this device. You can turn off the volume completely or set it at low, medium or high. Then you have the click tone option, basically the beep sound which you're listening whenever I touch the screen. You can turn it off or on. Then you have the screensaver option. So you can set the screensaver to turn off, or you can set it to be activated at 10 seconds, 30 seconds or 2 minutes. So let me just quickly show you how the screensaver looks like. And if I do set it at 10 seconds and just head back to the main home screen. So let's wait for 10 seconds to pass and you can immediately see the screensaver pop up. So let's wait for a few seconds. So as you're seeing right now, this is the screensaver. It shows you the date and time, gives you the voice control option, shows you the recording status, the resolution, and also gives you the GPS direction and also gives you the speed of the car along with the direction the car is moving in. So this is the screensaver and you can easily activate or deactivate this according to your requirement. That being said, let's just turn off the screensaver for now. Then moving back, you have the screen brightness. You can increase or decrease the brightness of the display based on your recording. You can increase or decrease the brightness based on the time of the day, but I don't think this has an automatic screen brightness. You will have to manually adjust it. Then you have the exposure value for the front camera, so you can increase or decrease the exposure value as well. So this is also a very convenient feature in bright sunlit conditions. You can just reduce the exposure a bit to get a more proper recording. Following that, you have the voice control options which you just saw previously. You can turn off the voice commands as well, and you can even take a look at these particular voice commands. Following that, you have the mirror flip option. You can flip the image from the recording of the front camera, and you can even rear camera flip. So this is basically flipping the rear camera image. Then you have the reversing guidelines. You can set either the full screen display or the panorama display for the reversing lines. Then you have the GPS coordinates. So this is going to show you the strength of the GPS signal for this particular dash camera. Then you have the time display. You can set it to off or on. Then lastly, you have the GPS display. So you can set the GPS coordinates to be displayed on the recorded video. Then you have the date stamp to enable or to show the date on the recorded video. Then you have the speed stamp. Then you have the GPS stamp. So pretty lot of options right here in case. Then you have the GPS stamp also. You can set it to off or on. Then you have the speed units, either kilometers per hour or miles per hour. Then you have the language option to set a particular language according to your geographical location. Then you have the clock setting. You can set the time and date. Then you have the time format, either YMD or DMY or MDY. Then you have the time style, 12 hours or 24-hour format. You can set that as well. Then you have the time zone. So currently for India, I need to set GMT plus 5:30. Let's just move there. So you can set the time zone according to your geographical location. Then you have the daylight saving time if you are in an area where DST is applicable. Then you have the screen flicker. If you can set it at 50 or 60 Hertz. Then you have the help center option right here where they're given a QR code to contact the service support for Wolfbox. Then you have the format memory card reminder. You can turn it off completely or set it to remind you every 15 days or every 25 days. Then you have the format SD card option. This will format the SD card. Then this is the reset setup. So this will reset the system to factory settings. Then you have the app download. So this is going to give you a QR code to download the Wolfbox app. Then you have the product information giving you the model name and the firmware version. So these were the on-screen settings for the Wolfbox G900 Pro, a pretty straightforward, simple and a very easy to understand user interface for this camera. I really like it a lot. Let's just move on and just put on the reverse gear. So currently I just shifted, or should I say I put my car in reverse, and as you can see the guidelines right here showing me how far the car right behind me is. You can even switch between the height of this reversing guidelines. You can set it at low, medium or high based on your requirement, and you can even switch the screen to a full screen right here. So this is not a practical view, of course. So you can just slide down and now you get a certain idea regarding the kind of distance the car is right behind your car. So this is going to help you in getting a proper view and in guiding you towards taking a proper reverse. So if I just shift back the gear, the screen moves back and shifts to the picture-in-picture mode or the split screen mode, or whichever default screen setting which you have selected. So this was the quick overview, or should I say a super fast overview of all the on-screen settings for the Wolfbox G900 Pro. So before we actually talk about the video quality, let's quickly take a look at the number plate readability of this dash camera. And as you can see, the Maruti Alto right in front of my car, about a distance of I think 20 feet away. And if we zoom in to take a look, a pretty nice read of the number plate. All letters and numbers are clearly visible. There is no noise, no disturbance within this image. But one more interesting thing to note is that there's another car right behind it. I think it's a Ford Figo. You can even make out the, or should I say more or less make out the number plate of that car as well. Now that's even farther away from this Maruti Alto right in front, maybe about it's 30 feet plus away. So this goes to show how important it's to have a 4K resolution to be able to read number plates at the farthest of the distances. And of course, moving on to the overall video quality, it is quite stunning. This is the best possible image, or should I say the video quality currently available in the Indian market, a 4K resolution backed with a Starvis-2 sensor. And this camera shoots at 30 frames per second with about 32,000 kbps of bitrate with a close to 240 MB per minute of file size. Now one thing to note is that in mirror dash cams, unlike the traditional windshield mounted dash cams, you get to see the dust and dirt that has collected on the windshield. You can sort of make it out on the left portion of my front windshield. You can notice all the dust lines there. So this is kind of a bit of a drawback, should I say, of the mirror dash cams, because they tend to catch all of this. You can even see the fast tag sticker within the video. This kind of blocks out certain portions of the video. So this is an important point which you should be knowing before you decide on purchasing any of the mirror dash cameras out there. Moving on to the nighttime video quality, so again a similar effect what we saw during daytime. Pretty clear, stunning footage. There is no complaint against this kind of a video quality. Moving on to take a quick look at the number plate of the car that's directly under the glare of headlights, and zooming in. So this is what Starvis-2 brings to the table. This is the true power of Starvis-2. You are able to read number plates which are directly under the glare of headlights at a distance of about even up to 20 to 30 feet in case of a 4K back camera such as this G900 Pro. The overall video quality, again as said previously, it's pretty much perfect. The sharpness, contrast, exposure levels, everything is pretty much balanced, natural, and what you're seeing on the screen is exactly what you actually see in real time with your own eyes. So there doesn't seem to be any overcorrection or undercorrection by the algorithm that processes this video, and you get a very fine quality 4K video footage during night time. So it's very important to have a Starvis-2 back camera if you want to have such top class video footage shot during nighttime, and even more important if you want to read number plates under the glare of headlights during nighttime. And the G900 Pro seems to be doing its job perfectly well. Moving on to the rear camera quality, so this shoots at about 1440p, that's quad HD resolution. And if we zoom in to take a look at the number plate of the car right behind mine, pretty clear read. You can even see why the 1440p is important, because there is very little to minimal noise within this image. But if this was like a full HD camera, which most other cameras come with, the rear camera I'm talking about, there would have been some level of noise within this image. But bumping up the resolution to quad HD, the rear camera of the Wolfbox G900 Pro is bringing the best foot forward in its capability to read number plates. Now the rear camera shoots at quad HD at 30 fps with a bitrate of about close to 20,000 kbps and a file size of about 160 MB per minute. And I'm quite happy with the quad HD resolution. I mean, even all the other aspects of this video, the technical aspects also do seem to be favorable, do seem to be fine. There are no major complaints against this. Also, by placing this at a lower level, you kind of get a different perspective rather than your generally windshield or rear windshield mounted cameras which are placed higher up in the car. At this low level, you get a complete different perspective, which is also going to help you while taking reverse, since this is a mirror dash camera. And the focus of the rear camera will be pretty much close to the number plates as you're seeing right now, the two-wheeler right behind me. So overall, the rear camera too is doing its job really well during daytime under favorable lighting conditions. Moving on to the rear camera quality during night time. So in this particular scenario, the vehicles which are approaching the rear camera kind of whitewash the image because the glare is very much higher, and partially this is contributed because of the lower positioning of the rear camera. So it basically comes right under the glare of all the vehicles that are approaching this rear camera. So very near range, like 5 to 10 feet, maybe you'll get a clear image, but beyond that it will be kind of blurred out, or should I say overexposed, due to the headlight exposure. And vehicle approaching at that particular range, if we zoom in to take a look at its number plate, partially covered under the exposure, but more or less you can make out the image. But do note that this is only possible in a very close range, like 5 to 10 feet. Beyond that, the number plate readability at night probably is not going to be possible because of the extreme glare of the headlights. And since even the rear camera doesn't get a Starvis-2 sensor, I mean, Wolfbox hasn't mentioned which sensor has been used, so that too is a contributing factor in the inability to read number plates beyond 5 to 10 feet from the rear camera. But the rest of the stuff looks fine except for the headlight glare. The overall quality does look pretty decent, tad bit higher on the exposure maybe, but still doing a fine job. So that was the full review of the Wolfbox G900 Pro, and if you're impressed with the camera and you want to purchase it, the purchase links are given right down below in the description. Click down, click on the link and go ahead and buy it for yourself. And if you do have any queries or doubts regarding this camera, just write that down in the comments. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. And after watching this video, if you like the effort, if you like the hard work that's gone into making this one, go ahead, hit that subscribe button of my channel right now, smash that like button and share this video with all your friends who are looking to get some super cool mirror dash cams. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.